Hello, tonight our video is on least common multiple. Here we have two number lines, and these number lines are going to represent the hopping of two different frogs. So let's say that the first frog hops 3-foot jumps. So let's trace, starting at 0, let's trace the distances that he will land on, or the numbers that he will land on as he hops. So for instance, the first jump goes from 0 and he lands at the number 3. All right, and then he does another 3-foot jump. He'll land at the number 6. And then another 3-foot jump at the number 9. So let's just keep doing this. 12. He's going to land on the 15. He's going to land on the 18, and the 21, and the 24. So those are the numbers he would land on if we were using a number line to trace his jumps. Now let's say the second frog does 4-foot jumps and also starts at 0. So the first jump, that frog will land at the number 4. Then the second jump at the number 8. The third jump, the number 12. Fourth jump, number 16. The fifth jump will be at the 20-foot mark, and the sixth jump at the 24-foot mark. Okay, so the concept of a least common multiple is that when numbers share common multiples, that means that there are numbers that they both would multiply into. So 3 multiplies into 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, etc. 4 would multiply into 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24. The common multiples that they share, if we look at the numbers, they both share the number 12 as a multiple, and they both share the number 24 as a multiple. Now the least of these two of their common multiples would be 12. So 3 and 4 share an infinite number of multiples. We could just keep multiplying and multiplying forever, and there would be just an endless supply of numbers that they would both have in common. But the very least number that they have in common would be 12. So this is what we mean by the least common multiple. It's the lowest number that both will multiply evenly into. All right, here we have two number lines again. And these are going to represent the jumps of two different frogs. So let's say that the first frog is going to jump 8 feet for each jump, and the second frog is going to jump 12-foot jumps. All right, so draw the number line, and then draw the jumps for the first frog that you can fit onto the number line. Draw the jumps for the second frog that you can fit. What would be the least common multiple, or the smallest number that both would land on? You can pause your video, then restart to check your answer. Welcome back from pausing the video. The first frog jumps to the 8-foot mark, then another 8, he lands at 16, and then another 8, so 8, 16, and 24 are the 3 jumps that we can record here. For the second frog, he's making big jumps. He's going to 12, and then another jump to 24. All right, so the least common multiple for 8 and for 12 would be 24. Now we could keep on jumping and jumping, and they would share other numbers in common, but 24 would be the least of those common multiples. So how'd you do? All right, so the concept of least common multiple, we started off by using the number line to show that, but we don't need to use a number line. We could just do a list of numbers that are multiples for each. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to do a list of multiples. All right, starting with 3 times 1. So 3 times 1 is 3. That's the first multiple of 3. Then 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times 4 is 12. 3 times 5 is 15, 3 times 6 is 18, etc. All right? Now let's make a list for 5. Well, 5 times 1 is 5. 5 times 2 is 10. 5 times 3 is 15. Okay, I can stop there because I have found the least common multiple. The smallest number that's in both lists is 15. So that's the smallest number that 3 and 5 both multiply evenly into. And by the way, we use this all the time when we add fractions. If you're adding 1/3 plus 2/5, okay, the least common multiple for those two numbers, for those two denominators rather, would be 15. So we would multiply, the 3 by the 5, 1 by 5, 2 by 3, 5 by 3 to get a common denominator, and that would allow us to add them together. All right, here's our next example. Pause your video, make a list of the multiples of 8 and the multiples of 20, and then find the least common multiple. Welcome back from pausing the video. So we have multiples of 8 starting with 8, or 8 times 1 is 8, 8 times 2 is 16, 8 times 3 is 24, 8 times 4 is 32, 8 times 5 is 40. Let's do multiples of 20. 20 times 1 is 20, 20 times 2 is 40. There we go. There's the least common multiple for 8 and for 20. So again, if I was adding fractions like 3/8 plus 5/20, okay, I would multiply 8 by 5, 3 by 5, 20 times 2, 5 times 2, and that would give us a common denominator of 40. All right, here's a little self-quiz. Pause your video and find the least common multiple for 12 and 16. You could use a number line if you want. I would recommend using just a list like the last two examples. All right, pause your video and restart to check. All right, welcome back from pausing the video. So the multiples of 12 are 12 times 1 is 12, 12 times 2 is 24, 12 times 3 is 36, 12 times 4 is 48, 12 times 5 is 60. Okay, let's do 16 now. 16 times 1 is 16, 16 times 2 is 32, 16 times 3 is 48. Okay, there we go. The least common multiple of 12 and 16 is the number 48. All right, so how'd you do? All right, that's all for tonight. Remember, read some books.